Blockchain is a distributed ledger technology called DLT. Now, what is DLT? The DLT is, hold on, the DLT is, the DLT is a protocol that enables the secure functioning of a decentralized digital database. Distributed networks eliminate the need for a central authority to keep a check against manipulation. So I hope you guys roughly understand what that means. Okay. So DLT allows for the storage of information securely and accurately using cryptography. The same can be accessed using keys and cryptographic signatures. Once the information is stored, it becomes immutable database and is governed by the rules of the network. The idea of a distributed ledger is not totally new, and many organizations do maintain data at different locations. However, each location is typically on a connected central system, which updates each and one of them periodically. This makes the central database vulnerable to cybercrime and prone to delay, since a central body has to update each distantly located node. The very nature of a decentralized ledger makes them immune to cybercrime, as all copies stored across the network need to be attacked at the same time for the attack to be successful. Additionally, the peer-to-peer sharing and updating of records make the whole process much faster, more effective, and cheaper. So these are some of the real-world use case, 50 in fact, that use blockchain. As you can see from the slide, they are from many parts of the world and they cover many industries. And some of you might be thinking, how can this be applied to my business? Take a look at this 50, and I'm sure some of it will relate to what your business are doing. And if it's not, you can always ask me on it. So these are the three major industries that the blockchain technology is changing. Okay. During the last few years, blockchain technology registered on most people's radar in the form of cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies have never been far from the headlines, as financial markets constantly re-evaluate how much value they actually hold in comparison to traditional currency. Although cryptocurrency functions by using blockchain technology, these two concepts are not the same thing, nor are they synchronous. Blockchain is the underlying technology that powers cryptocurrency, representing a novel solution to secure data transparently and securely through its decentralized structure. Okay, cryptocurrencies are the manifestation of blockchain technology, with a wide range of projects extending the use case of this revolutionary technology through different applications and functionalities. Blockchain holds great potential in redefining systems by incorporating trustless through a distributed network of computers that work towards a common set of goals, thereby eliminating the need for intermediaries or third parties. This would significantly streamline the data verification process, and enabling fast and cheap transactions without the need for a central authority. This empowers the blockchain is one of the many reasons why industries and companies are jumping on the bandwagon to explore the possibilities. For any technology to be realistically adopted and embraced, there must be the conviction that it could actually work. The most prominent example of blockchain's effectiveness can be seen through Bitcoin, which is regarded as the founding father of cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin is the first decentralized crypto that was created in 2008, representing a peer-to-peer electronic cashless system that eliminates banking intermediaries. With Bitcoin, users can send value transactions globally within minutes while paying only a significant fee for doing so. The creation of Bitcoin is an important milestone. It is not only cryptography and computer science, but it's also the evolution of our financial systems. For the first time in human history, we are empowered to participate in a decentralized system that allows us to have total and absolute control over our wealth. Though currently the major limitations of blockchains is scalability, a comprehensive amount of innovative and exciting solutions are currently being worked on to enable blockchain technology to scale to a massive level. Ironically, banks are now starting to embrace blockchain technology, even though cryptocurrencies was first created to eliminate the reliance and trust on financial intermediaries. As much as many would argue, financial institutions would still play a vital part in our monetary system. Banks play intermediaries to a bevy of financial services across the world. Blockchain will change the nature of many daily banking operations over the next decade. By using blockchain, transferring assets between two parties that are located on opposite sides of the world would work as if they were right next door to each other. Blockchain could also help banks move currency internally within their own organizations. Banks could develop their own cryptocurrency to replace traditional dollars. Bank-centric cryptocurrencies would completely transform the way the world interacts with money and finance. An example of that has been making waves in the banking arena is Ripple, also known as XRP, which has partners with an impressive number of renowned banks. However, banking regulations move slowly, and it will probably be some time before financial institutions have the go-ahead to integrate blockchain into their services. Now, the next one would be healthcare. It is an incredibly complex industry, comprised of many players along the health supply chain. Medical information and client records are siloed in individual systems across the healthcare landscape, and accessing these records remains difficult for providers and consumers alike. Blockchain technology offers the healthcare industry a chance to store all the medical information on one comprehensive database. When patients switch doctors or providers, the patient's entire medical history would be stored in a single, easily accessible system. Blockchain technology could lead to a medical record storage system so robust that medical history could be passed down to future generations, which could lead to new medical breakthroughs. The next one is the sharing of economy, or widely known as the peer-to-peer industry, has only begun to be recognized over the last few years, but it's important to include it on the list because of the fundamental changes that it undergoes once fully integrated with the blockchain technology. This fledgling industry will grow to monumental proportions over the next few years. in 2014, the global P2P lending market, which is just one aspect of the industry, was valued at 3.5 billion. It is estimated to be worth 1 trillion by the year 2050. Uber and Airbnb are examples of companies that have consolidated their dominance in the sharing economy. These companies changed their respective sectors by undercutting the traditional intermediaries such as taxi services and hotel, thereby streamlining the user experience and garnering huge profits in the process. However, most P2P services still rely on a central authority to facilitate transactions. When blockchain hits the P2P industries in earnest, these central authorities will be completely removed from the equation. Uber and Airbnb services like Airbnb will still exist, but now consumers will have the power to deal directly with each other over a blockchain network. As the ease of completing transactions with blockchain increase, P2P platforms versatility, this industry will absorb many more services that were once handled by traditional business models. So, how can blockchain work for you? Okay, in finding new advocates beyond the tech industry every day, this technology still needs time to be proven and enhanced upon. As it gains traction in a comprehensive range of sectors, remember there are more than 50 real-world use cases now, okay? Blockchain will shift and adapt as we find new users for it. Many blockchain systems are currently still in their concept phase, okay? And it could be the case that its implementation and execution in the market will undoubtedly look very different from the current status today. So, Bitcoin is the cryptocurrency that introduced the blockchain technology as DLT, the distributed ledger technology. Okay. Now, Bitcoin, what do we use it for? We use it to store wealth, and we can use it to transfer wealth or value also to anyone, anywhere. Okay. It is cheaper and faster when compared to a traditional bank. I remember when I wasn't using blockchain yet, to send a small amount of money to Thailand would cost me $50 in fees. Today, that same amount of money will only cost me a few dollars. Can blockchain and cryptocurrency coexist? Crypto will always need the use of DLT to store all the transactions and also known as data. Okay, crypto cannot do without blockchain, but the blockchain, on the other hand, can do without cryptocurrency. Yes, so they can coexist when needed. So cryptocurrency, main versus alternate assets, main as in mainnet or the main chains or the master chains, which normally we would know it as Bitcoin, Ethereum, coins or tokens that has its own chain. The alternate assets are digital assets which come from the main chain. So you get ERC from Ethereum and you get the BEP20 from the Binance Smart Chain. The TRC20 would be the Tron network. So they are all side chains. Okay, so these side chains, most of them are forked from Ethereum itself. So it's called the EVM network. Okay, but today you still can't you can send assets from one side chain to another, but you have to go through a bridge to use it. If you are wondering what a bridge is, it's like a tool that allows that helps you convert your assets from the ERC to from the ERC chain to the Binance Smart Chain asset. So Bitcoin's main use case is a store of wealth. Bitcoin can be used for settlement by transferring assets to another. Ethereum has an added functionality known as smart contracts. Ethereum using Solidity, making it programmable. Okay, it can be used for business logic. So with the growing cryptocurrency space, new ideas are born. So you have new side chains which are being developed to showcase their use case. Okay, so if I'm thinking of something that I want to do, and I feel that the Ethereum chain or the Binance Smart Chain, they are not up to it, and I feel that I can do it, so I will create another chain, another side chain to showcase the use case that I want to make known. So NFT was also considered, is actually also considered another alternate coin. It first started off as ERC721 a few years back. It didn't gain much traction till this year. See? Currently, NFT has taken the center stage and is one of the most famous usage for alternate coins, with many new side chains in development for this area. So why are there so many types of chains, side chains, blockchains, master chain? Okay, so blockchain was introduced to the world in 2008 by Satoshi Nakamoto. As the idea grew, we get more groups of individuals who were not happy with the state of Bitcoin and started to develop their own chains. So we are now split into two sets, the coins and the tokens. Most tokens are programmable, forked from Ethereum, while Bitcoin has some limitations due to the number of assets available, 21 million, making it scarce and it's also not programmable. So which digital asset is next? If you can't afford Bitcoin, I would suggest Ethereum, mainly due to the fact that number of developers working on it, the use case in development for real world, adoption rate by businesses, and the most number of users. So what is cross-chain? If you Google Asper's crypto coders for ESP, you will find that I've been working on cross-chain technology since 2014 with a small group of developers. So what will cross-chain do? It will allow the transfer of digital assets across different chains without using a bridge. Okay, that means you could go from Ethereum to Matic, or Ethereum to Binance, or you could go from Binance to Matic without going through Ethereum. So the other use case is ability to view on-chain analytics from a single dashboard. So why do we need cross-chain? You just ask yourself, how many different types of wallets do you have just to store all the different digital assets that you own? So one minute. So how will So how will blockchain impact you, or how can you make use of it? Okay, so I didn't introduce myself in the beginning. I started off as a network engineer, and my pay wasn't very good, and my life, frankly speaking, didn't change till Bitcoin came along. So it made huge changes for me. So as long as your business makes use of data, okay, to store data or to show data, you can you might be able to use blockchain. Okay. What else is there? There are so many use cases for it that I would say that if you could think of a use case for it, you most probably can use blockchain, because most businesses need to have some form of accounting, which is also in another way a traditional distributed ledger. Okay, so if you have a what do you call it, more complicated business logic, then I'm sure that Solidity will handle that without any issues. It might take a while to get there, but it definitely can be done.
Hey Benny, thanks for
Yes.
sharing those insights, especially for those who are not very familiar with blockchain. I believe now some people do have like certain questions regarding on what you shared. But maybe before that, right, before we start receiving some questions from the floor.
Actually, one more thing to share.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so for those people that are new and you don't really understand what blockchain is, so can you guys see this? This is like a carabiner. So the carabiner is like a chain. It's on its own, it's one block. Okay, so when so this being blockchain being a distributed ledger, a public ledger, anybody can write information and send it to the chain. Okay, so once you have one chain there, this is the Genesis chain, we call it the first block. When you have another batch of transactions which are sent to the chain, okay, you will have the next chain which will connect to it. Okay, so you will have the second chain. That's why we are calling it the blockchain. Each carabiner is a block and it stores its own information. It will be known as Genesis block, and then the next one will be known as block 1, and the next one block 2. So anytime you're looking for data, as long as you have the transaction hash or you know the block number, your data is stored on the cloud, on the blockchain forever. It will never be lost, and it cannot be changed. It cannot be edited. That's blockchain. That's the simplest way I can explain blockchain. Rebecca, I'm done.
Yeah, I was going to ask, right? So what exactly is your outlook for blockchain? Maybe for the next next 2 to 5 years. What was your outlook on this?
Okay, as you all know that currently with the NFT exploding, you have many more new way to use blockchains, ways that nobody could think of before. Before, when it first started 10 years ago, due to the way that it was programmed, there were some limitations. when Ethereum entered into the market to provide new ways of programming the blockchain, you could actually do a lot of stuff with it now. Insurance companies, banks, more than 50, if you look at the slide, more than 50 use cases around the world are using it. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited for what will happen next when this becomes truly regulated and a recognized space. It will basically change. If you are in it already, it will basically change the way you work, the way you do everything. For me, it changed my life entirely. I used to work 12 hours a day. Now I don't need to work 12 hours a day anymore. I'm not talking about crypto, okay? I'm talking about blockchain. Okay, blockchain is the backbone of all the cryptocurrencies. But if the crypto part is, in my view, is more of a speculation thing. The blockchain is the real stuff behind it, where it can actually work miracles for a lot of businesses, cutting away the middleman, making data more accessible. Just imagine if you have a group of scientists, they're working on a cure, but because they kept their data to themselves, another group of scientists working on the same thing might not experience the same mistakes that they make, and will take a longer time doing it because they also have to experience the same mistakes. Now, if all the scientists publish all their mistakes, then the next group will not do the same mistake again, and they will carry on the research and making it faster. So that's just a very simple simple way that it could change our life. So if only the scientists learn to share the right information, I mean, they don't have to tell us what is working and what is working. Just tell us what is not, so that we can skip that part and go and look for the next step. You have another question for me?
Okay, not exactly from myself, but we do have questions from the floor. Okay, so yeah, now you guys can actually, feel free to key in your questions in the chat box, and if you want to engage with Benny, you can actually switch on your camera or mic to ask your questions. Okay, so while waiting for the rest to type in their questions, we do have one from Max. Okay, there are many DEX and Uniswap is pushing out 3.0. So for new crypto retailers, is it better to start in DEX or CEX?
Okay, now a DEX would mean decentralized, and CEX would be a centralized exchange. Now, centralized exchange are basically, most of them are regulated. There are a few that are not regulated. Okay, so if for me, I would prefer to stay with those that are within the regulations, because I hold a substantial amount of crypto, and I don't wish it to to be lost with those unregulated ones. So how do you regulate a decentralized exchange? We can't actually regulate it, but the owners themselves could self-regulate and follow the regulations closely, adhere those that are similar to central exchanges, so that if there's anything wrong, they won't get shut down like Binance. Binance is very popular these few days in Singapore, especially. You guys have 1 month to withdraw your money. So if they wish, if the exchange operators wish to stay ahead of the regulators, they need to self-regulate, and they need to spend the money to do it. maybe they were thinking, okay, I grow big first, then I regulate, but you only cause inconvenience to your users, and you will lose your users. They will go to other exchange and they might never come back. Did I answer the question properly? Let me see again.
Okay, he said
So,
yes.
yeah, so it's better to start with on a regulated centralized exchange. Okay.
Yep. So, yeah, you want to add on to that question, Benny?
Where is that?
On the question regarding DEX and Uniswap.
Which DEX and Uniswap?
Oh, the question from Max. But he did say that you answered his question. Yep. I actually have another question for you. So why do you think the mainstream public, right, is still not very familiar with blockchain yet? If it's like an up and coming thing, for the future, especially it will, have a huge impact for many businesses as well as individuals. So why are there still a lot of people not very familiar with this?
Sorry, can you repeat that again?
So why do you think the mainstream public is still not very familiar with blockchain yet?
Because whenever they hear blockchain, they think of Bitcoin. That's one of the main reasons because blockchain actually was made popular by Bitcoin. So whenever somebody say blockchain, the first thing Bitcoin, how the cryptocurrency, how can that apply to my business? So, but it really depends on how you want to use it. There are many use cases. You can use it for crowdfunding. If you have a really good business, okay, and you want to expand, that's one way of funding without losing equity, which is called I think the correct term now is IDO. Okay, I think years back it was called ICO, but now it's called IDO with more regulations, and I think safer for the users also.
I see. Okay. Hope that answer your question, Grace. So we have another question coming from Max. So for newcomer, right, usually which reputable blockchain operator will you recommend, for newcomers to invest in crypto?
Okay, I'm not a financial advisor. I would have, you would have to do some research. Okay, you have to check out the coin, the token, what is it using, and how. So if it's a platform and the language that it's using is a very rare type, so how are you going to get what do you call that? How are you going to get the developers to come and work for you when the language is so rare? So if you see stuff like that, you have to stay away. Though this is very easy to spot. The good one, spotting a good one is going to be hard, because when you read through the white paper, they will write many things to impress you, and they most probably employed some very good copywriter. So after you read through those things, you still have to make the decision of how much of it can they actually apply and make it work within the next 1 to 3 years. So anything in development normally takes this time. Okay, so if you expect to make a quick buck, it's not going to be as simple as before. I mean, back when it first started, it was very, very easy to make money from Bitcoin. But these days, it's a bit harder when you have bigger players in the space. You have people like JP Morgan, and other these other institutional investors. Okay, so back in the day, when you had one to 5 BTC, they call you a whale. Now 1 to 5 BTC become a shrimp. So the market cap itself has expanded so much, exploded in fact, that these days the to make money just by trading is not going to be as easy as before. Okay, I hope that answers the question for that one.
Yep. Hope Benny answers that question. And then we have a lot more questions to come. Okay, so we have someone from Yishun Home. So in your opinion, so what's next for blockchain?
What's next for blockchain? For me, I think blockchain is the how is it? Blockchain, sky's the limit if you know what you're doing, and if you dare to take the leap of faith and start something on it, it could really change your life for you.